I don't even know who I
I'm supposed to use the first link because I think the second link is...
And welcome to week 2, day 2 of the Commonwealth League here tonight. I am Ferdinand Von Iyer, joining you on the play-by-play tonight. And of course, as always, my color caster, it's going to be Ninja. Ninja, how you doing this evening?
Good, how you doing, man?
I am excellent. So we are underway here. We are awaiting the bans here. And Mediocre Best, they lose 2 bans, just kind of setting you up for today. They do lose 2 bans. They do have some E-subs here tonight. But of course, the story, this is basically the best game of the night, at least record-wise. You have Mediocre Best. They're coming into this game 3-0. They've defeated all comers so far here this year. And G3RvsMAB, they are 2-1 this season, coming off a win last night over, I don't remember, but I know they were able to take home the victory. So 2-1, 3-0, 2 very good teams vying to be one of the top teams here in the league in the early stages. Of course, you also have another 3-0 team coming later, but at least in the hierarchy of things, Jinja, it looks like G3 is trying to vie for one of those top spots.
100%. Having 3 bans puts them at quite an advantage over Mediocre at best. They get to select out some of their picks and pick for their one tricks. New Meta EDO pulled out the Rise top yesterday night, and not gonna first pick it.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be the Kaisa coming out for G3 for Cloisto. They are gonna go ahead and place some preference on the ADC, but you see the bans. It said taken away from Mount Uhard, and then the G3 they're taking away the Darius from Fire Lord Bob Joe, taking away the Lux from Dumb KT, or maybe even I Call Linux, the E-sub for this evening, and then a Silas taken away from a variety of roles. But it looks like the response is going to be Morgana, going ahead and picking that up for what I will assume. Actually, I say I assume, but it could very well be a Morgana mid. We actually saw that last week, Jinja, but we do see the Tristana in the ADC slot for Gavril Princip.
It's probably going to be the standard. Pick your ADCs, pick your jungle, or pick your bot lane, pick your jungle, and hide as many solo lanes as possible for counter picks.
And so we'll see. Remember, we did see a Morgana mid last week, so nothing is set in stone. I don't like to kind of assume things are going to be the case. We have seen some spicy picks throughout the league, but you see here the Rise is going to be left open, and so G3, they're going to place a lot of emphasis on that. New Meta Edu played very well on that Rise last week, or yesterday, I should say, so they're going to go ahead and pick that up, and we'll see what they round out their first pick phase with, as maybe you pick up a support here.
Still a flex pick, but most likely Karma support.
Yeah, so the Karma here can go mid, can go support. Of course, when you go mid, you want to go with more of that nuke build, the Luden Zeko into a bunch of other AP items. At least that's my preference when I play Karma mid. But support probably more focused on supporting the Kaisa, making sure she stays alive. You know, she's a traditional late game carry, you know, scaling well, actually plays very good into the mid game and beyond. But it looks like it's going to be the Shen coming out for Fire Lord Bob Joe. So first pick phase is complete. You see here, looks like we have at least one solo lane for Mediocre at best, and we do see it's a top lane for sure for G3RvsMAB.
I really like the Karma pick here. Kaisa is a short-range ADC, Rise is a short-range mage, so the empowered shield can provide a lot of movement speed that the team's going to be needing to get close up to the Tristana and the Morgana. The range that they can hold can be a big problem for Rise and Kaisa.
All right, so a couple jungle bans coming out for Mediocre at best, trying to keep things away from Magnus. No Warwick, no Volibear, and it's an Ahri ban directed at Dumb KT, and also a Swain ban coming out as well, taking that away from either top or mid. So very quick second ban phase, getting into our second pick phase here. Mediocre at best. I think they're looking for a jungler for sure. Don't think we're going to be seeing any Shen jungle today, or even Tristana jungle if you really want to get spicy with it. But we will probably see a jungler coming out here, or maybe even a Aatrox. So Aatrox or Shen? Yeah, lots of flex picks here. And then you see the Lee Sin. That's going to be the pick for Magnus here tonight. As we have seen some Lee Sin. We've seen a lot of Lee Sin this season compared to last season, when I don't think we saw Lee Sin until somebody picked it mid. in the middle of the season. But that is going to be the Lee Sin jungle for Magnus, and we'll see what they choose to round out their comp with. I think it will probably be a mid laner. There is still a potential for that Karma flex, but I think it will be a mid, and it looks like it will. So there's the Nico. Mount Uhard going to be on the Chameleon. And so we will see what Mediocre at Best rounds out their lineup with all kinds of flexes here. And so we'll have to see what happens there.
We can easily see what G3's lineup is going to be, but Mediocre at Best is flexing their picks very well.
Yeah,
Surprised that they're confident in how comfortable their players are on these champions.
Yeah. And so that will be the Cho'Gath. And so I believe, and this is just conjecture, we're going to see a Aatrox mid, perhaps? I think you either see Shen or Cho'Gath, or maybe even Cho'Gath mid. I'm not sure. We're going to have to wait.
I think it's going to be a Cho'Gath mid. I'd put my money on Cho'Gath mid. Aatrox jungle, Shen top.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I think the bot lane is definitely in place. I think you're definitely going to see Tristana and Morgana.
I think they could put the Shen or Cho'Gath there. I don't think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, you can even put Shen support and Cho'Gath support. This is basically just an all flex draft, and so I'm curious to see.
Everything but Tristana is in the mix.
Yeah, pretty much everything. I'm curious, and for once we actually do have something to talk about here as we wait for the actual pick ban phase to be made here before we can really start to get into some team-based analysis and otherwise. But while we go ahead and wait for the picks and bans to come out, of course, we do have to wait for the timer for Mediocre at Best so they can properly lose 2 bans. We do need to talk about, there are 3 games today. We're going to be casting them all. You know, there is that caveat in the rules that says I don't have to cast anything that that isn't during normal times. And if you haven't noticed, we are getting started an hour late today. But we are going to go ahead and cast all 3 games today. It's no big deal to me. I only have to work at 4 in the morning tomorrow. But we do have G3 Reapers and Mediocre at Best in our first game today. Our second game, we'll see a 3-0 team take on an 0-3 team in RAR versus Monster Mash. Of course, RAR 3-0, escaping a very close game yesterday against Nocturnal Dragons. Monster Mash continuing to struggle, losing last night to Mediocre at Best. And then you'll have Lionheart and Nocturnal Dragons in our nightcap to kind of round things off today. So very exciting day. I'm excited to see where things kind of shake out because, you know, the later we get into the season, Jinja, the more we kind of see which teams are going to be the most consistent. You know, last week I was saying you can't really judge anything by 1 week, but after 2 weeks, things really start to kind of shake out and you can kind of tell, well, this team's actually going to be pretty good throughout most of the year.
Most definitely. I'm coming into this very new, so I'm not sure. I haven't seen a lot of the players, haven't seen a lot of the teams, but it's very evident who plays the draft better. I've seen one team will pick kind of just what champions they like to play. Another team will pick a more built around team comp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly, definitely conflicting mindsets, I guess is the word I'll go ahead and use there as we
playing us like fools, man. They're gonna go Morgana mid. They're playing us like fools. So
unless they're planning to trade, which, you know, I don't think there's anything in the rules about that. It does look like it's going to be Cho'Gath in the top side, Aatrox in the jungle, and Morgana mid. That will move the Shen to support. So the Tristana Shen bot lane for Gavrila Princip and I Call Linux. Of course, you could still see that Morgana support if they're just trolling us here. But quickly approaching the final 3 minutes here as, you know, we do have that spectator delay, that nasty spectator delay. I think they should probably shorten it to like 2 minutes personally, but I'm not here to argue rules and all that.
It's a small indie company. We can't
Riot,
do much from them.
If there's any Rider that snuck in here today, please think about reducing the spectator delay. I don't think any coach is going to take advantage of that extra minute.
Or just have an option to not have it for custom games.
That is also true. That would also be just fine by me. But we'll see. As I Call Linux hovering the Shen, should see him lock it in. There it is, and there's the comps. And here in a minute, we'll know for sure. But I do believe it is going to be Shen support. See, there you see the comps. New meta Edu on the rise, Magnus on the Lee Sin, Mount Uhard on that Nico, Cloisto on the Kaisa, and Lord Draken on the Karma. 4 mediocre at best. You got Firelord Bob Joe on the Cho'Gath, Panzora the Great on Aatrox, Dumb KT on the Morgana. Actually, I do know he did play that last week, so that very well could be the Morgana mid. Gabriel Princeps on that Tristana, and I call Linux. He's going to be playing the Shen support here today. So our first game here of week 2. Day 2, you got the 2-1 G3 Reapers and the 3-0 mediocre at best. So I'm going to go ahead and send it on over to you, Jinja. Taking a look at these team comps, what they offer, who do you think has the advantage as we go into game here, at least in the early game and maybe looking towards the early mid game?
Early game, probably going to be for G3. Lee Sin heavily out deals Aatrox in the jungle, at least early game. Range versus melee up top with the Rise and Cho'Gath. I think Cho'Gath is a champion that'll handle it well, just because of how his passive is a very strong source of sustain for him. Mid lane, Nico versus Morgana. Morgana doesn't get that pushing power until she gets a couple items, starts putting some levels in her W. Nico doesn't have a great amount of pushing power, but it's more than Morgana early game. And then bot lane, it's Karma versus Shen. I think that's going to play well for G3's side, just having the range poke support versus the poor melee champion. Interestingly, Karma took teleport. I don't know if she's going unsealed spellbook for whatever reason, but it's a teleport Karma support.
Yeah, maybe 3 teleports, at least now, like at this stage for G3 Reapers. So they're going to be able to move across the map very quickly. You see Morgana, she opted for the Ignite, a little bit of kill pressure in lane. Cho'Gath taking the TP. TP, honestly, one of the better summoner spells in the game. They continue to nerf that, but still has quite a bit of use in the competitive game. And so we will see if more TPs gives G3 Reapers a little more presence across the map. But if you're just joining us, if you are checking out Commonwealth Esports for the first time here today, as we still have a minute and a half to get into the spectator client, remember to hit that follow button and hit all the beautiful icons we have down below. For the first time ever, we actually have designed icons, and I think that's actually really great. Big ups to Wolfie, coming from my team, the Nocturnal Dragons, mind you, designing all the graphics you see here. Not only the Commonwealth Esports logo, but the icons you see down below. Discord, go ahead and join our Discord. Especially if you're looking to play, teams are always picking up new players, always picking up e-subs at the last second. So that could be something that you can join into. Check out our YouTube. We are archiving all games now. So some of my best calls I'll be able to add to my demo reel later, when I'm looking for another real life job. Not a lot of people can say they have League of Legends casting on their demo reel, but that is actually something that I do have. So that's a big advantage to me, and of course also a big advantage to most of these teams. And as always, you can check out all of our teams' rosters. I think that actually just takes you to the multi.gg. Yeah, it does. And so you can check out all the players, all their champion stats, and beyond into the season as they continue to play solo queue. Hopefully, continue to play solo queue and get into the game. So the spectator delay almost completed here, and we will get into the loading screen. We can talk about some skins. The last thing we do, traditionally, before we get into the action, is there's not a whole lot to talk about during that loading screen. We've already kind of exhausted everything in the spectator delay.
We had that nice minute and a half of shameless plugging, so
yeah, that was my whole goal, because we don't have a lot to talk about in the 3, so that's pretty much the only option I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you get used to it, because we're going to probably do it 2 more times tonight. But anyway, taking a look at the skins here, you got the Zombie Rise. I think I just got that skin the other day in a chest. Muay Thai Lee Sin, very popular skin, although I actually cannot stand it. Base skin Nico, KDA Kaisa, and Order of the Lotus Karma. Now on the other side, you got the Dinosaur Cho'Gath, Aatrox, the Morgana OG Chroma, back when they were actually giving the Chromas names. That's something interesting here today. Dragon Trainer Tristana, and Warlord Shen. So I don't know who's got the more expensive skins here, but I think Dragon Trainer Tristana is $20 on its own.
Yeah, that's an 1800.
That's an 1820.
Yeah. I think Warlord Shen and Order of the Lotus Karma are the same, and Prehistoric Shogath is cheap, so is Zombie Rise.
I feel like Warlord Shen is also like 975 or something. So I'm not going to try to do any math here, but I can tell you which team I think has the better skins. And I have to take. Well, actually, I don't really like either comp. I mean, you get points for KDA Kaisa.
Yeah.
And you get points for Dragon Trainer Tristana. But Muay Thai Lee Sin and Zombie Rise, not a big fan of those skins. So I don't know. I'm not going to make a pick this time. But what you can do, if you are watching right now, if you are in the chat, who is going to get first blood in this game? I think I have a lot of fun checking this out. Let us know who you think is going to get first blooded in this game. And we will compare. It's never who you expected it to be. But
I think it's wherever this Aatrox goes.
Wherever this Aatrox goes. So an early game then.
Yeah, he's got very nice gankable lanes with his Morgana and Shogath. I think bot lane is going to be a harder lane to gank. Karma and Kai'Sa both have mobility in terms of movement speed to get away, and bot lane only has a Shen taunt, which is not that long of a duration. Something like 1.5 seconds. And the Morgana Q and Shogath Q can be very good ganking tools to line it up with Aatrox CC.
Yeah, but of course, we might have some spice coming up here. We talk about first blood. It might come here on an invade. It looks like G3 Reapers, they're going to fan out and try to find something bot side, but I don't think they're actually going to find anything here. Shen's going to catch that one out early. And so we're actually going to see the entire G3 Reaper side kind of back off for now. Actually, no, there's the Q landing onto Gavrilo, but he's just going to walk backwards, and I don't think we're going to see Magnus taking that. So I usually go ahead and make a pick myself. I'm always wrong. But I think I was actually closer to most people last week whenever the games I was casting were, at least I was, the one game I guessed, I at least said it was going to be in the bot lane. It wasn't correct. I'm still the support and not the ADC, but, you know, it really do be like that sometimes. I'm going to say, because I always go with the spicy pick and the non-popular answer, I'm going to say Rise gets first blood. Just straight solo kills the Cho'Gath.
I don't see it.
I mean, that's the fun.
So good.
You saying you don't see it means that's a good pick in my opinion, because I would make the pick that nobody else thinks is going to happen. But anyway, we do see here, it is going to be topside jungle start. Actually, we got some action in the bot side. Koiso, he's going to walk into the bush. There's a taunt coming down. The Tristana bomb is there. That's going to be Koiso flashing away. First blood for Gavrilo Princep hiding in the bush. The cheese works. And mediocre at best, coming out strong. And there you go. Anybody who said it was the ADC, I don't think anybody actually said it was the ADC. You would be correct here today.
Yeah. You were kind of right.
Okay.
You said it might have happened with bot, the invade. But Mediocre at best did a good standard 5. They have the weaker level 1, even though they have more ignites. So they did good to just fan out and be wary of any aggression. New meta EDU went and queued the Aatrox when he was sitting up top because he had a ward in his river bush. I think that was a mistake. He could have played around it and just waited for the Aatrox to waste more time letting Lee Sin go and take his blue side.
All right, and so as we see here, 2.5 minutes in, of course, it is the CWE. We are going to have a pause. And so what I was going to say, I believe, is something to know here. Lord Draken, we were kind of talking about it before the game, but and the TP that he took down bot side, he actually has comment, so he is going to have that TP for the entire game. We'll see how he kind of utilizes that throughout the course of this one. I was going to say maybe if he was the one to die and not Cloisto, then you would have saw maybe that TP come out to get to lane early, but it's actually going to be Cloisto getting back, and then as you saw, because of that, and because of the kill, Gavrilo Princep and Call Linux, they hit level 2 first, and they were able to push advantage there. You do see the Dark Binding coming down on the Mount U hard, but also the Root coming down onto the Morgana as well, so a little bit of damage being put down on both sides. As we cross 3-minute mark, already a small gold lead for the side of Mediocre at best. You see that Empowered Q coming down from Karma. That's going to be so much of that bot lane's damage in the early state of the game. But yeah, you're right. Lee Sin is coming towards the bot side, trying to put a little bit of pressure there. Also a gank up on the top side, though, so we're going to have action on 2 fronts. We'll see what happens here. There's the taunt coming down on the Gavrilo Princep. He's going to go down, but it looks like New Mina Edu, he's going to be not long for this world as well. He's going to get the kill. It's going to go over to Panzora at Great. So they trade kills. 1 kill up on the bot side for G3 Reapers. Actually, excuse me, for mediocre at best. But down on the bot side, Gavrilo Princip, he does go down for the first time this game. Magnus going to pick up the kill for himself. See here with the top laner dead for G3 Reapers and having to walk back to lane, not using TP at this stage in the game. You see Panzor the Great, he's actually invading the enemy jungle, but there's some damage going down to iCall The root is going to come down onto Dumb KT. He's going to put the black shield on himself as Magnus continues to chase. Magnus actually going to throw up Q the other way. Does find Gavrilo Princip. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a 3v2, but no, Magnus is just going to go ahead and flash away and keep himself safe. So 2 flashes down for G3 Reapers across that fight. I believe you don't actually use any summoners there if you are mediocre at best. So a nice trade there for the 3-0 side.
Trade of Scuttle Crabs. I think Aatrox has done well to match what Lee Sin has been doing. He went, Lee Sin took his blue, so he went and took Lee Sin's blue. Looks like he's going to continue clearing up a level, so he's working well to keep ahead of the Lee Sin, since Lee Sin has been going lane to lane, trying to skirmish with his early power.
And you see here Magnus kind of hovering around the mid lane. He's going to be spotted out as he leaves. So Panzor the Great, he's going to know where the Lee Sin is currently hiding. You do see here some trading going down, but Firelord Bob Joe, there's a lot of minions there, but Panzor, he's not going to be able to get the gank off, and Firelord's just going to have to turn around for the time being. So 5 minutes in, a lot of action, already 3 kills in this one. I believe last week we saw these two teams, lots of bloody games between these two, lots of kills. That's kind of a signature in the Commonwealth League. Lots of bloody games, lots of high kill games, but you know what? We really wouldn't have it any other way. It's a lot more fun to call the action rather than 40-minute farm fest, you know?
100%.
You know, that's why we do Amateur League, because, you know, there's not a lot of, I won't say the games are bad, but perhaps
it's like
they're
monkey
not,
fights.
Yeah, they're not as clean, but that's to be expected. Obviously, not everybody is an LCS level player, but these kind of games have their own charm to it because you have that coordination. You can't deny that these teams are coordinated, but you also see like 99% more solo kills than you do in the upper kind of reaches of the game. But you do see here another empowered Q coming down on the Gavrilo. That's going to force the rocket jump out of Gavrilo. As
walking behind Morgana. Showed up on the ward.
Here's another gank mid. There's the root onto Morgana. Morgana going to put the black shield down. Magnus only level 4. That's something to note. That's going to force the flash away from Dumb KT. A couple tower shots from Magnus. He's going to walk away, though, with about half of his health. Good gank there from Magnus as he continues to just place and focus on the mid lane. Something to also to note here as we take a look at CS numbers, as a new meta Edu and Firelord continue to trade against each other. Look at the CS lead for Mount Uhard over Dumb KT at this stage in the game. Already 29, already double the amount of CS for that Nico over the Morgana.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Morgana doesn't have like the wave clear until she puts levels in her W, gets some items. So Nico's been perma pushing, and it's been outdoing what Morgana can handle.
Yeah, so Nico just pushing that advantage here early. Even gold. The early gold lead generated by mediocre at best sort of been negated here at this stage. I'll bet you anything. Yeah, 500 gold advantage for the Nico over the Morgana here. But we'll see here, Panzor the Great kind of still hanging around that top side. He's taking Scuttle Crab near the Rift Herald. That won't spawn for a few minutes yet. That corresponds at the 10-minute mark. I learned that recently as I continue to expand my game knowledge. It will spawn in 2.5 minutes. We'll see if any team places emphasis on that. We're going to gank up on the top side. That's going to be the Rise ultimate. Ooh, the silence is going to find him. He's going to be caught up shit creek without a paddle. It looks like he's going to go down here in just a second. Panzor the Great picking up his second kill of the game. Sorry for my language there, but still a very nice silence coming down from Firelord to keep new meta from getting out there.
Cho'Gath
on here. We'll talk about that here in just a second as Lord Drake, and he's going to be just deleted by the bomb here. That's going to force the reset out for Gavrilo Princip. Taking a look, though, Koiso is level 6. That's going to be the ultimate down as he continues to try to run away. We'll see how far Princip and Linux can chase. And it looks like they're going to have to go ahead and give up for the time being. But Gavrilo Princip, kill number 2, kind of negating the CS lead down there. In fact, a 300 gold lead for the Tristana over the Kaisa, despite that CS differential.
Good on them to kill him. Kaisa got 6 either of the members on Mediocre at Best have gotten 6, so they get to come back with their ultimates, and Kai'Sa won't have hers, giving them a good advantage.
Yeah, so you see here the blue being given over to Dumb KT. Our first dragon being taken, it was a Mountain Drake. Magnus sneaking that one solo, so a little bit of objective control for G3 Reapers perhaps as we advance into this one. But a 1k gold lead now. This is our largest gold lead of the game, of course, still very much early. But taking a look at the individual gold, you got a 500 gold lead for Firelord over new meta Edu. You do have a 600 gold lead for Panzora the Great over Magnus. Those two ganks onto the Rise. Definitely the difference maker there. Gold lead starting to shorten a little bit. You do see Dumb KT, he's made up the CS differential just a little bit. Now just a 12 CS lead, meaning he's only 100 gold down at 9 minutes. Tristana, she's up 300 gold, and then the support, they are dead even. About 2k gold apiece at this stage, translating to about, maybe an item and a half, or actually a half an item for these two sides. You do see here, looks like we might have a roam down top side as Panzora the Great. He's going to come in for the bot lane gank. Lord Draken looks like he might have to sacrifice himself here. The Empower Q does connect. There's a taunt coming down on the Lord Draken. Koisto, he might be moving up a little bit too far. Maybe it would have been best to just let his support die. He might die for this one. Gavrilo continuing to chase. It looks like Panzora, he's going to go ahead and try to dive here, but he's going to turn around at the very last second. So once again, Koisto going to survive at the very end. It looks like we're going to have a return gank up on the top side as Firelord. There's the Lee Sin Q coming down. The knockup is not going to connect, but the ultimate is going to take quite a bit of health away from Magnus. He's going to go down. The 1-for-1 trade up on the top side. So all in all, a 2-for-1 victory for Mediocre at Best across the board. Nice Cho'Gath ultimate there to salvage anything from that dive and make sure that Lee Sin at least goes down for all the trouble.
Smart Q as well, queuing on himself instead of Lee Sin.
Looks like we got ourselves a turret dive we didn't see earlier. That's going to be a dead Kai'Sa going down to Gavrilo Princep. He is 3-1. You see the TP coming up on the top side as Mount Uhart just tries to push in some turret plays. They do get all but one up there, but that is a 3-1 to Stana. It looks like this dive isn't done just yet. As Aatrox, he's going for it, but the Lee Sin is there for the return gank, and that's going to force the flash away from Linux. He will get away. Everybody gets away, but they are not able to get the Karma on the second dive. 7 kills to 2, though, in favor of Mediocre at Best. They are kind of really maybe going against the grain there. I know you said several lanes for G3 Reapers kind of had that early game advantage, but so far, Mediocre at Best, they're playing through it pretty well.
Yep, I think a lot of that can be attributed, at least from the top half of the map, the Aatrox shutting down the Rise by repeat ganking. Cho'Gath provides a lot of CC for that, and he's quite ahead of the Lee Sin, which is sort of good because Lee Sin, as you know, falls off as the game goes on. He's 35 AD up on him at the moment because he completed his warrior. Lee Sin's sitting on a Caulfield's Warhammer. And then bot lane has been just outplaying the other side, going in when they know they have the chance, and taking it when they can.
Yeah, so here we are at 12 minutes. Still a sizable CS lead for the Kai'Sa over Gavrilo, but those 3 kills continuing to be that difference maker. You've seen New Meta just maybe an auto attack or two from away from completing all of those turret plates, but you see here comes New Meta. He's going to go in on Dumb KT. That's actually going to be the Shen ultimate, as Linux, he's going to come. Doesn't have a flash though, but he is going to be rooted, so no chance to taunt there. Maybe perhaps turn this one around. So we do see here Nico, almost the first champion here in this game, to 100 CS, has been farming rather well, even when roaming up to the top side. You do see here Panzora the Great, he's coming back up to the top side. We'll see if New Meta responds in time. Does have the ward, but it looks like he's still going to be caught up in that gank. You see here Magnus, he's going to land the kick onto Linux. The root does not connect. That's going to be maybe a missed opportunity there. No, the kill will still go ahead and come down. It's going to be Magnus picking up kill number 2. Rise will go down up top, as that's another kill from Panzora the Great. He's 3-0-2. At the very end of all of that, Mount Uhart going to claim a kill on to Dumb KT. That is a 1-0-2 Nico, as 4 kills to 8, but now we may see some ADCs fighting down bot side as Gavrilo Princep. He's going to put the bomb down. There's the damage down. The ultimate from the Kai'Sa is not going to be enough, and she will go down. The Kai'Sa, the Karma flashing, maybe to try to put the shield down, but she is too late. And Gavrilo Princep just forcing that advantage down bot side. 4-1-1 now. Here, now he's going to go ahead and jump onto Draken. Draken's going to put everything down. Does he have the damage to maybe fight there? No, he doesn't, but Gavrilo, he's not going to take any risks there. He's not going to go ahead and try to get anything more, as he will just walk away content with 4-1-1. So, as you see here, Actually, we might have some more fighting as Lord Draken continuing to just try to push the issue. The empowered Q does not connect. That is most of your damage as Karma. She's going to have to try to wait but the bomb just single-handedly just destroys Lord Draken there. Maybe a little bit too over-aggressive is the Karma. And she will go down 4 kills to 10. But you see here, and I was about to talk about this, just a 1.5k gold difference. And as you take a look at the turret plates, Jinja, that really has a lot to do with it. You see, G3 Reapers, they pushed a lot more turret plates than their adversaries here at 14 minutes.
I mean, they're down 6 kills, but all the turret plates lead them at just a 1k gold deficit. I mean, 2 plates is more than a singular kill, so it's been good on them to take what they can when they can. Interesting choice by Tristana to flash in that 1v1 versus Kai'Sa. She exploded her E, so her W reset. She could have just jumped back over onto the Kai'Sa, and I'm hoping that she plays safe since her flash is down. But I know it was a while ago, but I think there was some miscommunication on Mediocre at best.
Oh, hold on here. We may have a 2v2 upcoming. The Rift Herald was placed into the mid lane, but Magnus, he's going to find himself not in a good position there. He's going to go ahead and go down. And Zora the Great on a rampage. The bot lane is there for the follow-up. That's going to be a dead Karma once again. She is 0-4-1 as Gavril Princep, he is just going deep. Going to land a few more autos on the Koisto. Koisto just going to have to try to run towards the tower to keep himself alive. We'll see how far Gavril wants to push this. He's unstoppable. Gets another kill. He's going to get the reset on that rocket jump, and he's just going to jump away. 6-1-2 is Gavril Princep on the Tristana, and that Rift Herald's going to take down the first turret of the game, that mid lane tier 1.
That was huge for Meteoric at best. Magnus thought he had a catch with MTU hard onto Dumb KT, but the other 3 members of Mediocre at best came to his rescue, turned it around, catching out G3's bot lane as they were coming up to help. So they were caught on the wrong side of the fight, and Lord Draken had to go down for it. Good on Gavril Princep, knowing how much damage he can deal, knowing how deadly he is at the moment, that he could jump in and secure the kill for Koisto.
Yeah, you see here, there's another gank coming down onto the Cho'Gath. How much damage can they do, though? That is a pretty tanky Cho'Gath with the Abyssal Mask. It actually looks like they're going to get quite a bit down, but here comes the Shen ultimate. Nico is there, though, as well. But she might be in a bad position now. She's going to land some damage down on the Cho'Gath, but there comes the Cho'Gath with that ultimate. He's going to go ahead and feast onto the Nico. He will go down at the end of it as Magnus comes back around for the return kill. But Cho'Gath still 2-3-3, and it looks like we may have more fighting now as why are you showing up in the bot lane? That's just going to be a dead Karma. 0-9 bot lane for the side of G3 Reapers. They are definitely having a bit of a struggle right now as Gavril Princep 7-1-2, just continuing to just destroy anything in his path.
I'm hoping that Meteoric at best puts a lot of...
Now here, as we have a 3v1 situation we'll talk about here in just a second, but that is a big Aatrox. He's going to get 1 kill there before he is taken down. That is a big shutdown there. That is 450 bonus gold to the Kai'Sa, but Aatrox now 5-1-3. Of the 16 kills for Mediocre at best, 5 of them are on Panzora the Great in that jungle spot, and 7 of those kills onto Tristana. It is a 1.3k gold lead right now for the Tristana over the Kai'Sa at 17 minutes. And of course, talk about Tristana, she is a late game carry. She is one of the better scaling AD carries in the game. At least I feel safe saying that. She's only going to get stronger from this point of the game. She's going to be just very, very strong.
A late game Tristana can just straight up out damage basically anyone on G3's side.
Yeah, here I was on manual camera for a second. I was wondering what was going on here, but we do see a 2v2 in the mid lane. Tristana is coming up for the backside, though. That is going to be something important to note here, as she's going to go ahead and get 1 kill. She gets 2. Gavril Princep is just everywhere at this one, during this one. 9-1-2 onto Tristana. You do see here, it is going to be a tower up on the bot, or actually down in the bot lane, but I feel like we're going to maybe lose a tower here for G3 Reapers on the return. You do see the TP coming down from Lord Drake. He's just going to have to flash away as too much damage there. I believe, once again, I still hold true that we're going to see a tower coming down. Magnus on the backside of the fight. He's going to go ahead and try to kick into the Aatrox. He's going to have to go ahead and W away. Mount Uhard in on the backside of the fight. He's going to be pushed away by the Tristana ultimate, so does not find that 3-man stun. He's going to go down to Panzora the Great. That is kill number 6. The turret goes down during the midst of all of this as Gavril Princep, he's just going to go ahead and try to do what he can as the carry. He does, actually, it's going to be Call Linux who finds the kill onto the Karma. Look at the damage from the Aatrox onto Koisto. The shield is going to be put down on the Kaiser from the ultimate, but he's going to be taken back into the Aatrox W, and he does go down to Panzora the Great. 7-1-4 is the Aatrox. 9-1-5 is Gavrilo Princip. This is just a good old-fashioned team carry right now from Gavrilo and Panzora the Great. New Meta Edu trying to do anything he can to try to protect this turret. That's not going to work, though. The turret will go down. It looks like mediocre at best. They've gotten all they can handle at this stage, and they're just going to go ahead and back off. Of course, I say that, but then Firewar continues his push up on the top side.
And I mean, while all of that was happening, Firelord was just taking 2 turrets up top lane, getting Inhib turret down to half. I was going to mention it until all the fighting started happening, but new meta, or mediocre at best, ooh, English is hard, mediocre at best, is doing what I was hoping they were going to do and just escorting the Tristana around to turrets. Just bring Tristana, she's super fed, she's very strong, just bring her to turrets and let her take anything she wants. They have good siege, Aatrox can dive well, Shen can help with the dive, Morgana and Shen have good single target lockdown, and it's decently long range to help threaten people away from the turret. Tristana has the range, she's level 11, her E helps take down turrets and her Q helps take down turrets, so just escorting her around to take objectives is what they should be doing right now.
Yeah, exactly. They've done so pretty successfully. 6 towers to 3 here as we cross the 20-minute mark. Baron is alive. You got to start to wonder, if you're mediocre at best, you put a lot of emphasis on that Baron. You're also you're already 7k gold up. So do you really need to place a lot of emphasis on that Baron, or maybe even start thinking about just, straight pushing it to try to end the game on a big team fight? A lot of options if you're mediocre at best.
I think they take the Drake first and start fighting over Vision over Baron. Just having the threat of Baron could force G3 into a bad position, which could get them game-winning team fight where they can get inhibs and then back out and take the Baron. Or if G3 doesn't respect their Baron taking ability and doesn't go to check, they can just sneak it and walk away with the Baron to go siege a later day.
So it is a Cloud Drake. It looks like it's going to go down without too much fanfare. The smite comes down, and it looks like mediocre at best. They're not content to just take the dragon. They're going to look for the fight. As you do see here, the empowered Q from Karma going to slow them down just a bit. The Dark Binding does not connect. Not Uhart trying to find some damage on the backside of the fight. He's not going to do so. Magnus finding a Q at the very tail end of that one. Of course, I don't think he's going to go on that one. Not really the smartest decision here in the game to do so. And so they will just be content with clearing the waves. But you do see here, mediocre at best, they're going to start moving towards that Baron.
Start posturing for Baron, clearing Vision. Looks like they're just going to start it out, right? Yeah, they have Earth Drake force G3 to come check.
Yeah, you have the big gold lead. You pretty sure they have the team fight advantage here in this one. You gotta maybe force that fight or even take the Baron, and then you think about starting to end this one. We'll see what G3 Reapers can do, if anything. There is the first kill of the fight. Dumb KT is not going to be in this one. It's going to be a 5v4. There's the flash from Nico. She's going to find the 2-man stun. Actually, make that the 3-man stun. That's a double kill for Magnus. Actually, make that a triple kill. But Gavrilo Princip is still alive, and he is the one you have to kill. It's going to be a double kill for Call Linux. It's actually going to be a clean ace. Actually, not a clean ace. I need to stop saying that. It's going to be an ace for mediocre at best. 3 kills to 5. You gotta kill Gavrilo Princip. It doesn't matter how good your early fight is. If you don't kill that Tristana, she is going to wreak all kinds of havoc. As you see here, the 2 carries are the ones left alive, and they are going to get some stuff there. As you see, Koisto, he is the first one to come alive.
MT Uhart, I think, played that fight decently well to a certain point. She went in for the flash ulti onto Tristana. Tristana jumped away, buffered the W. So she was still stunned as it came down, but was out of range. Nico turned to help deal with the Aatrox, and Aatrox, being the champion that he is, just went wild in the 1v3 situation that he was in.
Being the champion that he is, I think that's about the most apt description of Aatrox I think I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, he's a drain tank. He likes having enemies around him.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't talked a whole lot, Ginger, but I think you'll find the more you cast with me, I don't like bruisers. I think they're the worst thing to happen to League of Legends. So you'll hear my just absolute disgust with bruisers throughout the course of this season. Of course, not going to blame any teams for playing them, but not a big fan of champions that can take damage and deal damage as well. But that pretty much describes Aatrox to a T now, doesn't it? Anyway, 23 minutes here in this one. It is a 7k gold lead for mediocre at best. The Baron did not go down in all that, by the way. It was simply just a big old team fight that Mediocre at best was able to come out on top of. But you do see here, once again, they're coming to Baron. I think they might just continue to just try to start up this Baron until something happens here. But did you see maybe a much slower response this time from G3? You see they are in the area. Looks like Koisto, he's going to be the first one to face check that one. Mount Uhart, he's going to send the clone in to check. Call Linux is going to take some damage down. The Baron is going to be taken down. It's actually going to be Cho'Gath who's going to go ahead and chomp on that one. Mount Uhart, maybe not in a good location, tries to pop the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. The shield is not big enough to keep him alive to get that 5-man stun. Big kick from Magnus, doing a lot of damage there, but he's just going to go down. Gabriel Princeps is legendary. Actually, new meta Edu, he's going to find the kill onto Dumb KT on the Morgana, but it's a double kill for Gavelro. That is 3 kills to 1, and it looks like with that Baron, Mediocre at best is going to try to go for the victory. There's a smite on the Closo. That's going to slow him down. There's the ultimate, and Zora the Great taking a lot of tower shots. He's going to go down, but Gavelro, he's going to jump in at the end there, does put a little bit of damage down, almost dying to tower shots, but he is going to be alive, and all you need to do if you're Gavelro is just push down these towers and try to stay away from this Karma. Of course, Cloisto, he's going to try to do all that he can to get in there. Mount Uhart is alive as well. Lands the GLP onto the Shen. That's a pretty big Shen at this point. Taunt does come down to Kaisa. Kaisa going to get the shutdown. Gavelro is going to kill Karma. There's a flash out for the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath might be dead here. He will be. There's the final auto attack coming out from Magnus. 30 kills to 13, but G3 Reapers keeps their base alive for the time being, but not without losing both their Nexus turrets.
I definitely think this is just a cut case for Mediocre at best. They just need to wait for respawns, buy their items, and walk down mid. It's an open Nexus. They win the 5v5. They can just force what they want.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. You know, as I always say, I say this at least once a cast. I'm never really the one to say games are over. You know. I don't like to call games done. After all, I've seen a 5v4 happen in the Commonwealth League. But, you know, this one, 8k gold lead, 14-1 Tristana. It seems like no matter what G3RvsMAB has tried throughout the course of this game, they have just not been able to get to the Tristana. And as long as you can't do that, Gavrilo, seeing he's a very aggressive ADC, he likes to make things happen. As you see, that's another Mountain Drake down to Mediocre at best for their 3rd dragon of the game. As long as he is up, he is going to try to get the kills. And they have not been able to kill him thus far. So we'll see. Baron is still alive for, I believe, a few members of Mediocre at best. I know not the Shen. Looks like, well, maybe not. No, it's on Tristana still. Tristana is still alive, so they do have the Baron powered minions for Tristana down bot side. That's probably one of the champions you probably most want, or the role you most want to have that Baron buff at the moment, especially considering her role as a turret pusher. But you see here, they're just going to continue to try to push down this bot lane tower. They maybe want all the towers here in this one. Only a couple more towers to take to get that clean 11.
Yeah, I think the key for G3 if they want to win this is going to be on Magnus. In the last fight, he kicked Cho'Gath into almost the entire team of Mediocre at best, and it dealt a lot of damage. Kicking the Cho'Gath is going to deal something close to 1,300 damage to anybody that it hits, which can almost kill the Tristana flat out, leave her with like 300 HP. So
you see here, Nico trying to do some things. She's just going to go ahead and delete Dumb KT. Can't say that Nico doesn't do damage here at this stage of the game. Call Linux, he's just going to have to flash away. But you see here, there's a push on the bottom side as well. Gavrilo, he's going to focus his efforts on the turret as Cho'Gath just goes ahead and chomps onto that Karma. There you go. There's the Magnus going off to Tristana. Not able to find the damage, though, as he's going to have to try to flash away. It is going to be Fireward going down next, so it's currently a 2-4-1 fight. But you see here, Gavrilo, he's going to try to push down that inhibitor himself. He is going to be taken low. He's about 50% health. As you do see here, there's the root coming down on Panzora the Great. He's just going to go ahead and try to go ahead and go for the all-in. Not able to find the damage, though, as he is going to go ahead and go down. Magnus and Ryze and Kaisa, they are going to take the Ryze ultimate. Can they find the kill onto the Shen? They will, but Gavrilo Princeps, he is legendary, as he will go ahead and kill Mount Uhart. It is a 3-for-2. As Gavrilo Princeps continuing to run through, actually a 4-for-2. He's going to go ahead and get that inhib. Looks like he's going to try to maybe sell out and try to get as much as he can. He's going to go ahead and rocket jump away. We'll see. I think he's going to go down. Yes, it is. There is the 1,000 gold shutdown for Magnus at the very tail end. Very chaotic, but if you are mediocre at best, at least you get those 2 towers and then an inhib on the bottom side. But, of course, if you're G3 Reapers, just winning that fight is enough, and extending this game, probably enough to call that one a victory for yourself.
Yeah, it puts mediocre at best in a tough position now. They had a very split fight where Shen and Morgana were top. So it was a 2v1 up there. They pulled the Nico, and they went for the 4v3 down in the bot side under turret. The Aatrox and the Cho'Gath went very far for the squishies, letting Lee Sin go in on Gavrilo Princip. And since Gavrilo Princip survived the fight with the Shen ultimate, he was still very low, about half HP, so he was unsafe to walk back into any fight.
So he's here almost to the 30-minute mark in this one. Couldn't tell you what the shortest game this season has been. I feel like if somebody knows, let me know. But I don't think we've seen a whole lot of games end before the 30-minute mark this year. Even the ones that have really been sort of early game, mid game stomps, such as this one has. We've seen a lot of teams struggle to close this year, and that has kind of been the story of Commonwealth League Season 2. Just teams really getting fed early, and then just not being able to find that gap. I think you're still probably right, Ginger. This one's just a matter of time before mediocre at best finds the fight, but I feel like this one maybe should have been over 2 or 3 minutes ago, if any. If that.
Should have been over definitely 2 fights ago. Baron is up again. They can look to try to take that. Looks like they're just going to use their range to get some chip damage in on the inhibitors. Slowly, they'll take it.
And so you see here, they are going to start that push onto the mid lane inhibitor. They will get it. Haven't gotten the top lane inhibitor just yet. They are going for that perfect clean victory. It looks like all towers, all inhibitors. But here's a fight coming in. Magnus does find the kick onto the Shen. Maybe not that's not the target you want there. Here's the Nico ultimate. Is going to find out to Tara. That's a shutdown, and that is a big target down. Magnus is going to try to find the damage onto Dumb KT. The Morgana ultimate is placed down. That's going to be a 2-man route. Can they find enough damage? The Lee Sin Q is not going to connect. Neither will the ulti Q, as it looks like it is going to be a 2-for-0 fight for G3 Reapers as this game continues to move along.
That was way too aggressive by mediocre at best. Penzora the Great and Firelord went way too far up topside, letting Lee Sin get behind them to kick him further into the team. Cloisto is on Miramana, Prudent, Hurricane, and Gwynso's Rageblade, so they're going to be dealing a bunch of damage in these fights, especially when he just gets a free hit like he did there. I think they should have just taken their free inhibitor, gotten Baron, and tried to walk in with their Baron-empowered minions instead of going for a third inhibitor with only 2 members.
Yeah, so you see here, it is still an uphill battle for G3 Reapers. Don't have any towers. That is important to note. Also, 2 inhibitors down, so they're going to have to watch those super minions as they will continue to just push waves in towards their base. You see Baron once again alive. You see here, mediocre best, they're going to go ahead and focus their efforts on that Baron. There's a Dark Binding on him out Uhard. He's going to go ahead and pop the W, and then the ult. There's a Zanyas. No damage, actually no root placed down onto the Tristana as she will go ahead and walk away. Didn't look like the Black Shield mattered there. Looks like she was able to escape the radius. But you see here, they are going to start up the Baron, and here comes G3 Reapers. This could be a very big fight. Cho'Gath, the Q, is going to find 3. That's going to be a lot of damage down. Call Linux, he's going to be taken low, however. But you just hear Gavrilo Princip, he is still very much healthy. There's going to be 3 members of G3 Reapers running away from what is a very big Aatrox. Mount Uhard, he's going to run right into Gavrilo Princip, does find the root. He is still alive for the time being. That's going to be the fight to watch. This Nico Tristana, there's the root. He does find the kill on the Gavrilo Princip, but the Aatrox is on the backside. But look at the Cho'Gath. He's going for the back door and has the minions to try to back it up. Can Karma get there in time? There's the Shen ultimate. He's going to try to join this fight. Magnus and New Meta Edu are there. The taunt is going to find both the Rise and the Lee Sin. Lee Sin is going to go down. The Aatrox is there. The minions are continuing to push the Nexus back. There's all the members of G3 down. Looks like this one will be over. 33 minutes. Mediocre at best. Still undefeated through 4 games. It wasn't pretty, but they do find the game here tonight. They defeat G3 Reapers in 33 minutes.
That was a very close fight. After the initial Cho'Gath Q into Shen taunt, it came down to a lot of player skills. The fight broke into a lot of 1v1s, 2v2s. That was close. That was stressful.
That was a very stressful game. In fact, I was stressed. It's very hard to get me to stress out. But anyway, as we take a look at the post-game screens here, as we do get out of the game, you see the damage across the board. Jinja, who do you give the MVP to in this game? Of course, very sloppy game. Had a couple of heroes for the side of mediocre at best. But who do you give the MVP to?
Like one for
yeah,
sure.
best,
one for G3.
Do whatever you want.
All right, mediocre at best, 100% Tristana. She got herself ahead in the lane. She went for a lot of 1v1s or 2v1 plays that came out and worked well for her, and then she carried that advantage. She knew what she could do, what damage she could deal. For G3 side, I'd have to give it to I forget his name, but the Lee Sin. Definitely the playmaker on G3 side, trying to get a lot of picks and catches towards the end of the game, and was a lot of the early game aggression. The Nico is like a close second to that, but I'd have to give it to Magnus.
All right, and so, well, shoot, I just left the post game screen here. I got excited by the invite, but I can still at least see the scores from the post game on the stream here. I always pick somebody different from the color caster because I dare to be different. I'll go ahead and do the same thing you did, though. I don't know who'd you pick for G3 there?
Magnus.
Okay, so I will go ahead and give it to Panzora because I know you gave it to Gabriel. I'll go ahead and give it to the Aatrox. Aatrox all over the place.
He was a big member in a lot of those fights, just clumped together groups.
Yeah, exactly. Even when Gabriel was going down in those late game fights, he was one of the champions that was really kind of pushing the fight and making things go. And then for the side of G3 Reapers, I'll go ahead and give it for the Nico. You see, the scoreline 3, 6, and 12 doesn't really give an indication that she was really doing much, at least kill-wise. But if you saw what ults she was landing, and she was, what she was doing in fights, it felt like Mount Uhard was actually having quite a big impact in this game. So I'll go ahead and give that the Nico my MVP, and then also the Aatrox as well. But we will go ahead and set up game number 2. It is going to be a battle between an 0-3 team and a 3-0 team. It'll be RAR versus Monster Mash. And we will have that for you when we come back. You're watching Week 2, Day 2 of the Commonwealth League.